All right, what's up, everybody? Everybody. So, I have the day off once again because my job is lame. They don't want me to make no money, so I gotta use my vacay time to make my money. All right, so today I'm just going to go to Marshall's. Just a little ride along. I have dropped off some stuff at the UPS store, some Amazon returns. But today I'm just going to go to Marshall's and see if I can find some riding pants for the fall, because it's getting about that time. It's August already, and it feels like the summer just went, man. It did nothing in North Carolina and South Carolina this year but rain. Every weekend we have a theme park in Charlotte, North Carolina. It's called Carowinds. It's owned by Six Flags now, and you can get season passes for $90, which they have a beautiful water park. It's great, man. We do that every year usually, me and my daughter and my girlfriend. And this year we just couldn't do it because the days that we go on was Sunday. It's when we all have that family time, and it just rained every Sunday except for one. So on that one Sunday, we just went to the lake that day, and yeah, it's been horrible this summer. It's just done nothing but rain. It's even going to rain today. So I was actually going to try to get some work today in another town, but I thought every time I do that, I think it's going to rain, so I don't want to ride my bike. And I need to get my car all the way legal. I have a Camaro, a 2016 Camaro 2SS. My girlfriend is dying to drive back and forth to work until she puts the gas into it. Then she won't be dying to drive it back and forth to work. But yeah, it's a gas guzzler, and I need to get it legal. I need to transfer my plates. So right now I have to transfer my plates, and I have no excuse but that I haven't done it yet. So I need to do that before I can ride that. No highway today. Right now it's just all back roads, and we're headed to the next town over to go to Marshall's or one of these little stores like Bill's, Marshall's, Ross Dress for Less, to see if we can find us some riding pants. If we can't find any, then we'll just go home. I did wrap my rear wheel of my bike, so it's purple now, but it's not fully done because I thought it was going to be too bad, too hard to sorry I burped, to wrap the inside and out, but it was actually pretty easy to do both as I was doing it. So I'm going to go home, and I ran out of wraps, so I'm going to go home and use the rest of the wrap and just wrap the rear wheel, because I've seen a bunch of bikes that's wrapped the rear wheel, and I'm going to finish doing that, and I'm just going to give this bike a nice wash down. Next week we're going to the coast. We're headed to Holden Beach, North Carolina, with the family. We're going to ride some bikes out there, have some family time, hopefully eat some good food if there's any good restaurants around there. And yeah, that's what we're going to do. Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about beginner bikes. Now, you can go and buy a brand new bike if you want to, or a pre-owned, brand new, newish bike. If new to you bike if you want to. My brother, he chose the 2023 Kawasaki Ninja 650. It's got a parallel twin engine in it, and it looks really good. It's nice. You can tell the new fascia. It's probably got a lot more tech. It doesn't have ABS, but it's up to date and everything with the TFT displays and all that stuff. And yeah, it's a nice bike, but he's paying a premium for that bike. He's paying almost as much as you can buy a used car for that bike. But it's a nice bike. It's got a beautiful finish on it. The paint's amazing. It's just he's got that bike payment, and that's just something as a new rider you probably don't want to get into. And believe me, by far, I'm not a bike expert. Even though my girlfriend, she works at a bike dealership, I'm just not a bike expert. I know I like riding it now because I was terrified of riding a bike from the last, I want to say 20 years. I am 43 years old, and this is my first year ever on a motorcycle, and I felt like I've been doing it my whole life. And they say martial arts has got something to do with that, because the way I can move my body and everything, it just feels natural. Except for that one time where I wrecked. If you've seen that TikTok, got about 40,000 likes on that. I hit a ditch, but nothing happened to the bike, and I only had a little bit of road rash on my arm. It wasn't nothing much. I hit it about 25, 30 miles an hour, so I was good. But the reason I don't want, back on topic, the reason I don't want to buy a bike like that is he's got a warranty and everything with that bike, even though it is pre-owned, and you just can't get a feel on what it's like to ride a raw bike. I feel like, you know, they say you should always start a car, driving a manual car before you drive an automatic, so you just always know how to drive that. That's how I feel like when it comes to buying this bike. This FZ6R, which is made by Yamaha, is a 600cc bike. It's got a beautiful note, unlike that parallel twin, which sounds like a fart box, because it sounds like a retarded Harley. Sorry for the R word, but that's what it sounds like. And believe me, my first bike that I bought before I got this FZ6R was a Kawasaki 650, just because my brother had one. So Kawasaki Ninja 650, it was candy apple green. It was a 2016 model, and I got it for $2,500. That's the only reason I bought it. I got on that bike, it felt clunky. I didn't like the way the ride was. I didn't like the way it sounded. I didn't like the way I felt on that bike. It looked pretty good, I can say, but it wasn't what I imagined whenever you ride a sports bike, which these aren't sports bikes, they are sport touring bikes, so they're kind of in between. But my bike, I feel like it feels more like a sports bike than that Kawasaki does. This is a Yamaha, it's a 2011 Yamaha FZ6R 600, and it's not a FZ1, it's a FZ6R. You don't really see a whole lot of them, but it has a detuned 2003's era Yamaha R6 engine in it. So it's got about 70 horsepower. I want to say this one feels like it's got a little bit more. It's got about 70 horsepower, and I've shamingly said I've got it up to about 140, and that's about as good as it's going to get. Now, you don't need to go 140 if you're a new rider. I'm just a moron, so remember to not be a moron. What I can say is what I love about owning this bike, because I own this bike. I've got the title to it, and this is my bike. It's nobody else's bike. I like the bike so much because my girlfriend had one, and I had bought her one, and I was so dissatisfied with the Kawasaki Ninja that I sold that Ninja a month later to some poor kid. I'm sorry, kid, if you ever see this video. I'm sorry you ended up with that bike. It did have a few problems. I kind of didn't dwell on the problems, so he would buy the bike. But I sold that bike for $1,200 more than what I bought it for. So I got a deal on it. And I got this 2011 FZ6R for $4,000 flat. And this bike is amazing. It sounds beautiful, as you can tell. It sounds like a proper 600. That's what a motorcycle should sound like, in my opinion. Now, you can have your biases with the Ducatis and Aprilias and all that, but I like something that sounds like it's going to tear through the fucking fabric of reality whenever I'm driving it. And this thing does whenever you got it in high gears. Now, it doesn't sound as good as a 1000, but it sounds pretty decent. You put a silencer in it and you can dumb it down. Now, we just got some SC custom exhausts, and you can actually put a baffle in it to silence it if you want to, and it sounds pretty good. It's just a slip-on exhaust. Now, since this was a dumbed down R6, R6 headers fit on this bike. So it was easy just to switch the headers over from an older R6 to this bike and use a slip-on. See, and that's another thing about that Kawasaki Ninja. You can't even put a slip-on exhaust on that bike because it's so new. They make all those regulations and they put the catalytic converter in with it and all that other stuff, and it's just horrible, man. It's not a bike you would want to have if you like modding your bike. So I've wrapped this bike gold, then I wrapped it purple, which I'm very satisfied with now. It's candy metallic purple from Vivid, and I've done a bunch of mods to it. I've done all the work myself on this bike, which my brother, he's done a couple things like change a tire. He's changed the tire, and he's done, here we go. He's changed the tire, he's cleaned his chain and changed his oil. For me, I've done spark plugs, I've done the whole filter box housing. I've done way more than he has to this bike because I don't have a warranty, and I'm experimenting and I'm learning that there's really not much to bikes. And this bike is a good example of how, if you ever want to work on your own machine, that you can just buy a bike like this for $4 grand, own the bike, and you can do your own maintenance. Now, I haven't changed the rear tire or changed the chain yet, but I will get around to that because we do need those. But I've lowered this bike. I've changed the front position of where the fork tubes are. I've lowered the front end. I've lowered the center end. Now I can stand flat-footed on this bike. It's been a really enjoyable experience with this bike, and it sounds phenomenal, and it's so fun in the curves and everything. And it's such a great bike. So that's really why I would prefer getting a pre-owned bike and paying cash for it. Something like this FZ6R. People say get a 300. You can get a 300 if you want. Me, I prefer not to get a 300 because my niece has a 300 and she struggles to get up to 90 miles an hour. So if you need to pass somebody on this freeway or anything like that, you're going to have a hard time doing that. So that's why I would just stick with something around a 600cc bike. Or you know what, Ninja, if you can buy a Ninja outright, a 400 Ninja 400 probably is pretty reliable, or the new Ninja 500s. But I'm not trying to put that much money into something that's not going to be mine right now, if you get my drift. So this bike is beautiful. It's got all the things that you need. It sounds great. You can update it. It's not got the halos and the running LEDs, but you can add all that stuff, man. It's really not hard to do. You can add a bunch of that stuff and you'll be satisfied with it. So yeah, it's just a really good bike. I like it. It sounds great. And I think if you ever decide that you want to ride a motorcycle, then the FZ6R is one of the best picks that you're going to find out there, because they're not very expensive, and you see less of them than other bikes, which is kind of, I don't know, I'm kind of torn about that, because that means it feels like that you're not in the I guess that you're not noticed as much because people don't know what it is. They know what the ZX6R is, the 636, the Yamaha R6, the CBR 600, the GSX R, or the Gixxer, whatever you want to call it, the Gixxer 600. Everybody knows those bikes, but this FZ6R, it's one of those bikes that it's not very well known just because of that. So I guess it was Yamaha's way to get into the beginner bike space.
without having to go full R6 super bike. So I really enjoyed riding this bike. Here, let me show you what it looks like in the parking lot, and with this new wrap and the sun hitting it. Look at that. See, that's that wheel I wrapped back there. It's really beautiful. I'm not the best wrapper in the world, but it looks pretty good, I think, for my first time ever wrapping a bike. You see custom exhaust. It already came with these. See where I dropped it a little bit. It's got dirt in there. That's all it did whenever I dropped the bike, is this little stuff right here and this right there. So after I get out of here, guys, I'm gonna go wash the bike, and yep, and I'm just going to wrap up this video right now. Thank you guys for joining me today. If you ever want a bike, this is one that you should think about instead of buying a brand new bike. All right, this bike right here is phenomenal and it's awesome. So on that note, guys, see you guys next time. I'm out.